Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, I had a voice for radio. So today, we're going to be looking at another probable Tag Team GX that we are getting soon. And this one excites me very, very much indeed. It is Latios, and it is Latias. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this one seems to go slightly against the grain of the other tag team Pokemon we've had revealed so far. So, the ones that have definitely been revealed, we know we're getting Pikachu and Zekrom. That has been revealed in English and in Japanese. We know that's coming. We have seen it. We know we are getting Eevee and Snorlax. It's not been revealed in English, but it's been revealed in Japanese. It's been officially revealed on the Japanese website. It is definitely coming. We are 99.9% sure we're getting Mimikyu and Gengar Tag Team GX. But because, well, let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, it was in a listing in Japan, yeah? There's sleeves and stuff coming out with Mimikyu and Gengar, so we know we're getting that. And similarly, we think we're getting Wailord and Magikarp, and there is a Towering Splash Tag Team GX box coming in February, which would very, very much sound like it's this. I mean, you're getting a big and a little water Pokemon together. You can work that one out for yourself. But you see, the thing is, the Latin American International Championships is happening this weekend. And if you look at the artwork that they're using, it very, very much seems like they are using artwork in the Latin American International Championships using pairs of tag team Pokemon. Now, I was sent this picture by the Century Kid at Lucas 2pm. Now, a bunch of people did send me similar images. I thank you guys so much for anyone who sent me the stuff. It really is appreciated. But if we have a look here on the playmat, you can see Pikachu and Zekrom. You can see Mimikyu and Gengar. You can see Wailord and Magikarp. On the hat there, you can see Eevee and Snorlax. And on the back of the deck box, like we talked about yesterday, Celebi and Venusaur. However, if you look at the competitor badge and if you look at the sleeves, you can see Latios and you can see Latias. Now, we haven't had Celebi and Venusaur confirmed, nor do we have any other information other than these images. But we essentially have 6 pairs of Pokemon here, 4 of which have been, or near as gosh darn it, been confirmed as Tag Team GXs, so the other 2 must. So we're getting a Latios and a Latias Tag Team GX. As always, huge thank you to the lovely Hitmondrew. He is the lovely chap I go to when I need a mock-up of an image where we don't have an image of a particular Pokemon card. If we know it's coming, he's the guy I turn to, and he is great. Obviously, this is not an official image. The style is different, and it clearly says, even on the thumbnail. And I know some people have expressed doubts as to whether I should do these prediction videos, but I've had a lot of messages from people saying they love the prediction videos, so I will try and make it clear on the thumbnail when it is or is not a prediction. Just look for whether it's final artwork. But I still think you should watch them because they're fun. So Latios and Latias then. This really seems to go against the grain of the other Tag Team GXs because they're all little and big. Pikachu and Zekrom, Pikachu little, Zekrom big. Mimikyu and Gengar, Mimikyu little, Gengar big. Wailord and Magikarp, Magikarp little, Wailord big. Eevee and Snorlax, Eevee little, Snorlax big. Celebi and Venusaur, Celebi little, Venusaur big. They're all little and big. Except for this. Latios and Latias are both the same size, essentially, which is a little bit strange. And similarly, we see Pikachu and Zekrom, we got a legendary with a regular. We see Celebi and Venusaur, we got a mythical with a regular. Here we've got 2 legendary Pokemon that are essentially the same stature, which we haven't seen before. So this is what gives me pause for thought. This is the reason I think we might not get these. Honestly, I cannot see a world where we don't get them. I just don't think that's doable Given that, I mean, if we're getting all the others, we must be getting all the others. So why would they have a pair of Latios and Latias? That just doesn't seem to make sense to me. Okay, it's still a little bit weird though. This is the weirdest combination of Tag Team GXs we've seen so far. And what's really strange about that statement is they fit so beautifully together. They are a pair. But I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it's still a bit weird. Now, the Baby Daisy Spirit Pokemon is Latias, because Latias Prism Star was revealed on the day she was born, the 15th of May. And I was literally explaining about Latias Prism Star to her when she was like 10 minutes old. You might be thinking, yeah, he's exaggerating. He wasn't actually explaining to his 10-minute-old daughter about Latias Prism Star. Oh, yes, he was, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yes, he was. And Latias Prism Star's a really good card, but the Rayquaza decks at the moment really have tended to lean towards Vikavolt, so they're not playing Latias anymore. Latios Prism Star also came out, but nobody's playing that. I mean, Latios Prism Star looks great, double colorless energy, 50 damage for each bench dragon Pokemon, but there's just not any dragon decks around at the moment. Also, as a side note, it's only evolution. So if Latias and Latios Prism Star is a dragon type, I strongly believe it will be, more on that in a moment, then unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, you won't be able to use this to do more damage. The one that's really seeing play at the moment is the Latios from Shining Legends, which does have Latias in both of the artworks and is a very good Pokemon, 30 to the active, 30 to 1 bench for a double colorless. It's seeing a lot of play. So anyway, Latias and Latios Prism Star. Also, huge shout out to Hitmondrew, who did put a daisy in Latias's mouth. I didn't ask him to do that. That was such a sweet little touch. So what do we know about it? It's going to be a dragon type, and here's why. Latios and Latias are both dragon psychic types. That's what typings they are. Well, Tag Team GXs are one type, and they have to be a shared type. We're getting Mimikyu and Gengar. Mimikyu and Gengar have to be a psychic type, because Gengar is Poison Ghost, so Gengar has to be a psychic type. Now, I did say a bit of a silly yesterday with Venusaur and Celebi. I said they have to be a grass because it's the only shared typing. That's a little bit silly on my part, because Venusaur is part Poison, which is psychic in the Pokemon trading card game, and Celebi is part Psychic, which is psychic in the Pokemon trading card game. That was a silly thing on my part, but it doesn't really matter, ladies and gentlemen, because quite frankly, we've already got Mimikyu and Gengar. And I've made this argument before. I believe rather strongly we're only getting one Tag Team GX initially of each type. So that means that Mimikyu and Gengar are essentially shotgunned being Psychic type, which means Celebi and Venusaur have to be Grass type, and Latias and Latios have to be Dragon type. And Dragon typing's not the best typing. You're hitting literally nothing for weakness, while being weak to Fairy Pokemon, so Sylveon GX, that's seeing a lot of play, and Gardevoir, for instance, which is seeing a not insignificant amount of play, so that's a little bit annoying. The good news is, Dragon does have some tricks nowadays. Devoured Field does an extra 10 damage to the active, that's quite nice. We've got Zinnia, which lets you accelerate extra energy from your hand if a dragon Pokemon got KO'd the previous turn. And then we've got Lance, where it's a Prism Star, but Lance Prism Star is great because if you had any Pokemon KO'd the previous turn, you get to search your deck for 2 dragon Pokemon and put them onto your bench. Now, using this for a basic Tag Team GX, they're all basics, is not a great idea, because you can do that with a Nest Ball. Yeah, use Nest Ball instead. However, using this to get something like a Dragonite GX, for instance, that could be kind of fun. Or using it to get a Salamence, for argument's sake. Salamence is kind of cool. It's got a really useful ability, which is literally a gusting effect if it's in the active. You just get to switch one of your opponent's Pokemon. So it's like a Guzma, but you don't get to switch as well. It's really cool. So between Zinnia and Lance and Devoured Field, we've got some nice tricks for dragon Pokemon. The problem is, dragon Pokemon, I mean, you look at Salamence here. They've historically had really awkward attack costs. Like this Latias from Dragon Vault, for instance. Or Latias EX. And we lost Double Dragon Energy a while ago, and we didn't get a Double Dragon Energy reprint in Dragon Majesty, which means we're just plain not getting one, which is a bit of an issue. So, on the one hand, I love that we're getting a Latios and Latias Tag-Team GX, and Devoured Field and Zinnia and Lance are all nice. On the other hand, I'm nervous, because there's no real Dragon deck around at the moment, and the fact that they're generally awkward attack goss, and they hit nothing for weakness, and they're weak to widely played Pokemon, that worries me a little bit. I want this to be amazing, and look, Snorlax and Eevee Tag Team GX excites me because I love Snorlax. But of all the Tag Team GXs so far revealed or spoiled, I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, this is the one I most want to be good. Although, as a side note, Daisy essentially, through no choice of her own, has 3 favourite Pokemon. There's Bulbasaur, because my wife made me buy her a sleeping Bulbasaur when she was born. Venusaur's getting a Tag Team GX. There's Wailord, because a friend of mine brought back from Japan a giant Wailord bigger than Daisy. And we're getting a Wailord in a Tag Team GX. And then Latias, as I told you before, which is getting a Tag Team GX. So it's kind of weird that all of Baby Daisy's significant Pokemon, they're all in the first wave of Tag Team GXs. That to me is kind of fun. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, so I want to know from you guys, are you believing that this is coming? Do you think it's going to be good? Give me some predictions, ladies and gentlemen. Go nuts, but please do remember the rule. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And do please make sure you're checking out my playthrough of Let's Go Eevee on this very channel. I'm putting a lot of work into that. I think it's good, so please watch it and support it. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.